last year finishing 10-4 in the KVL. So welcome the Bonner Springs Lady Braves and Coach Oaks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, guys, for having us here for this occasion today. It's always great to hear the coaches and their expectations and hear from our players and their point of view on things. To my right here, I have a KVL All-League player, Julianne Jackson, who is a junior forward for us. And on my left here, senior Michaela Bennett, who is also a forward. Both these two young ladies are two of our team captains. Been a part of the varsity program. Julianne has since her freshman year, so this will be her third year. And Michaela's from her sophomore year, two-year letterman. We kicked off our season Friday night against Baser Linwood, and came away with I believe it was 54-39 win. It was one of those. It was kind of nice to get going right off the bat here with the big tournament coming up next week. We got some of our nerves out of the way. It was for 3 quarters. It was kind of I don't know, a little nerve-wracking for me on the sideline. Going into fourth quarter, we were up 4 points, and then these guys finally settled in, and we went from 4 to a 21-point lead in about a 3-minute span, and then kind of held on from there.
So your program's been real good over the last few years. Piper finally came up and got you guys last year. Talk a little bit about your program and what you've been able to establish at Bonner in terms of keep being productive each year.
Well, we've had a great nucleus of players that's came back each year, and the biggest thing that's kept us rolling each year is the commitment that our players have had to the program throughout the course of the entire year. The summer programs, we've had all of our players involved with our program, so they usually will dedicate the month of June to our high school team, and then July they'll go play with their club teams, AAU teams. So the biggest thing has been the commitment. The girls love playing together. They have a good time. We take some trips out of town, and we get a lot of team bonding and things that occur in the summer times that makes us kind of a close family.
So this could possibly be another false analysis by my part, but I kind of mentioned Friday night when we was watching the game that the last few years you guys tend to have, 1 or 2 players that kind of stand themselves apart a little bit as your leaders as far as scoring and things like that. And you always have a good surrounding, I guess, nucleus. So talk a little bit maybe about the importance of having those players who kind of know their roles and kind of play their parts.
That's something that we address at the beginning of the year, and we talk about how not everybody can be the scorer, that rebounding and playing good defense are just as important, if not more important, than being that one person that puts the points on the board each night. Our teams have been teams where we felt like we could go into any game, and there was always going to be somebody that was going to step up each night. If somebody was having an off night, there was someone else that was going to step up and take the load on that night. I think that's been a big part of our success is that no matter who's on the court, we felt like that person at any time can contribute and be a big part of the win for that game.
So, Julianne, you I think you averaged a double-double last year. So we had you on our All-SHUKC team as well. So as a junior, is the game slowing down for you a little bit more? I noticed you had a lot of steals as well on Friday night. Are things slowing down to where you see things a lot easier as a junior as you did when you were a freshman and sophomore?
I've definitely learned a lot over the past couple years playing under Oaks and playing with my team and stuff. So, yeah, it's definitely starting to click and really starting to understand how everything works and knowing my role and knowing what I got to do to help the team and lead the team. So,
Michaela, we noticed Friday night you was a little more aggressive on the offensive side, at least from my perspective. Talk a little bit. Is that just you knowing you need to step up a little bit more this year in your role, or it's just, developed over the summer a little bit more offensive?
Definitely with the loss of Kaylee Taylor because she tore her ACL. She was really a driving force to the basket. And I actually come up here on Sundays and I work with her dad. And I've been doing that for like the whole summer pretty much. So learning the ropes on that.
Talk a little bit about, goals for this year. How would you rate this team compared to some of the good ones you've had, previous years with Anna and Haley Hoffman? So talk a little bit about some of those.
Yeah, we've talked about this, and I've talked with others about this. I feel like this team has just as much potential, if not more potential, to be as good, if not better, than some of our past teams. This team's very athletic. As far as individual players, we have that core nucleus, and like I kind of hit on a little bit earlier, we got several people we can go to, and we're not built around one or two players. A lot of experience coming back, a lot of athleticism. We can do some things that we weren't able to do when we had some of our bigger teams and we weren't quite as athletic. So it's going to be an exciting year, and this is definitely one of the most exciting groups I've had the privilege to coach.
So coming right out the gate, opening up with a league matchup with Baser, like you said, first 3 quarters kind of close and kind of broke it open the fourth quarter. Talk a little bit about, what did you like of what you saw Friday night, both you and the players?
The big thing was that, things weren't always going our way, and, we kept plugging along, we kept fighting. There was never an instance when I felt like we had gotten down. We just kept trying to move forward and tried to correct things that we weren't quite doing as well as what we would like to throughout the course of the game. And like I said, by the time we got to that fourth quarter, it felt like we had everything rolling and we got the rust knocked off. It's always a tough situation when you have to start out the season with one of your league rivals, and Baser does such a great job of defending, and they have a lot of athleticism and very quick, and they play some pretty good defense. So it was really a good test for us coming out of the gates that first game, and I think it was something that's going to really prepare us for next week.
Is that something I thought it odd start out with a league game. Do you guys decide that and maybe discuss between the league that you do that, or just luck of the draw?
No, this is I really can't answer that question because this is really the first year that we've done that. Usually we start with the preseason tournament, and then usually we'll have our first league games after the tournament. But for some reason we had this early one scheduled before the tournament this year.
So maybe for the players too, how much pressure did you guys put on yourself on such a important game, a league game, of protecting your home court?
I think everyone was kind of nervous going into it because it's the first game, and we had a lot of players that were excited too as well. And so I think coming out and playing Baser was a great way to start because they give us great competition, and of course it's a rivalry, so that's always fun to start off with that. So it was nice to start the season off with that kind of win.
Yeah, Baser definitely gets after it on the floor. Every loose ball, they always have someone down. I think that kind of caught us off guard at first, but it kind of woke us up, and by the time we got to the end, we were on top of it.
So who else kind of stepped up for you, or that you've seen, I guess, looking better through the first couple weeks of practices that you want to maybe shout out?
Morgan Lawrence did a great job for us Friday night. I think she had 13 points. And then Maya Hightower in the second half really stepped up and finished the game with 10 points and hit, I think, 1 or 2 three-point shots that kind of really got us going there. Let's see, pretty much everybody. I mean, right now we're running 8 players, with Kaylee being down. That put us down to 8 full-time players on our varsity roster, and all 8 of them came in the game at the entire time. Allie Ledbetter and Tanya Hernandez came in and did a great job for us. Am I leaving anybody out? Huh? Oh, and Kennedy Bacon, yeah, and she came in and gave us some quality minutes. Kind of our utility player that we can use her at the guard spot. We use her at the small forward spot, and so she did a great job coming in.
So the injury to Kaylee, she's done for the entire year, or maybe a situation with Jessica Wayne last year, maybe come back at the end of the season, or she's?
Well, she's a tough kid, and she has a lot of heart and desire, and so that, I know she's working her tail off right now to do whatever it's going to take to give her that opportunity. So, there's really no time frame that I've been given on it. She's told us she's going to be back by sub-state. So, and if it is up to her, then she'll be there.
You guys got any plans this year, Harlem Shake thing from a few years ago?
Nothing scheduled yet.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. We appreciate you guys.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
All right, next we're going to move on to one of our KCAL teams. We're going to move on